he's one of the best in the business.
Yeah, he plays next to a guy like Light, who I think has been very, very good. Not the biggest, most dominant offensive line. They're a line that takes a lot of grief. They're called finesse. I can relate to that. It's funny how you usually tend to pile up Super Bowl rings when people call you finesse.
Yes.
You have a much better time taking it. But they hear that, Copen and that, they hear the same things. They really hit a home run 2 years ago with Sebastian Vollmer. Not having Neal at the right guard position will be an issue. They'll have Connolly in there, I think, initially. They've got good depth at the offensive line. So that's going to be the one. As a team, I would want to look at this team as being more of a run-on-demand team. They're going to have to practice it more. You're going to have to see it more in preseason and training camp. But I think this has to be more of a run-on-demand team.
All right, so here's the question. Who's the team to beat in the AFC East? Because you look at it, the Jets, obviously, they're feeling pretty confident about things. I think the Jets have the better defense. I think the Jets have the better running attack. I think the New England Patriots have Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I would, I guess, maybe go a little bit out of the box on this from the standpoint. I'd go Jets. I was in the stadium. I did the game for Westwood One with Kevin Harlan.
Tough to get that lasting image out of your head.
That's what you think about. And going into the regular season, I'd say you got to start with the Jets and their ability to do sort of what they do. If you see a more physical presence out of this team, then you could sort of start ratcheting them up.
Well, I also think in terms of the comparison, how much better is the Patriots defense? How much better is the Jets passing attack? Because that's where I think people focus on, and rightly so, where the Jets need to improve, where the Patriots need to improve. How much the passing attack for the Jets can improve, the Patriots defense can improve, that could ultimately determine, Randy, who wins the division.
And that's the very thing that drives coaches crazy, especially this year, in this situation, with virtually no off-season programs. Where are you when you get to that fourth preseason game?
Yeah.
Have you really installed everything? Do you really have the ability to draw on all your resources? So you're going to have to build your fundamental core literally inside out. Even these veteran teams, and this is a team that has a huge advantage. The Jets have a huge advantage. The Packers, the Bears, they have intact staffs, they have intact rosters. They're really, as a group, going to have an advantage because they know the offense, but you can only install every year so fast.
And I do think, and it's worth mentioning this, and we're doing this at every camp stop, you know what? If you have good coaching, you have continuity with the work stoppage, with the lockout, I think you're going to be ahead of the curve. You have Bill Belichick. That's a major advantage for the New England Patriots.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and you have a football mass, a fandom that went from wondering to be, it's like wandering through the desert and having no water for a week and suddenly being helicoptered in and dropped in the middle of an Olympic swimming pool as far as NFL news and NFL information and everything that's going on. The fans are just soaking it up like a sponge, and they're just as dazzled and dazed as everybody else, and it's going to take a while, including the players, including the coaches, to really kind of step back and go, okay, here's the end of week one, where are we? Here's the end of week two, where are we? What's this team going to be like when we start that opening game of 2011?
We are fired up today. We are just thrilled to be live from New England Patriots training camp. Sirius XM Blitz, Adam Shine, Randy Cross. We're going to take your telephone calls on the Patriots coming up next. Line them up right now, 877 NFL Kank.
Sirius XM NFL Radio, Training Camp Tour 2011, the ultimate season preview. Sirius XM NFL Radio Training Camp Tour 2011.
The running back of Chicago Bears, Matt Forte, you made a statement that maybe I'll sit out the preseason games and talk about your approach to receiving a new contract with the Chicago Bears.
They have told me the same thing. They want to extend the contract. It's our first preseason game coming up, so if it's not done by then, we have to kind of consider. It's a risk every time you got on the field.
Sirius XM NFL Radio, Channel 88, getting you ready for the 2011 season.
It's human nature. You get a life insurance policy and put it out of your mind. Well, many term life insurance rates have come down over the past few years. Paying too much? There's an easy way to see. Call SelectQuote. Your SelectQuote agent will impartially shop select, highly rated term life companies and tell you if they can beat your price. For example, Max is 39. He quit smoking 3 years ago and is in great health. SelectQuote found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $19 a month. For your free quote, just call 1-800-932-5400. That's 1-800-932-5400. Or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
It's been said you don't know what you've had till it's gone. To prove it, please indulge us in this short, invaluable exercise. Imagine today is September 7th. You walk into your nearby Lexus dealership and discover all of the colorful banners for the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event are gone. As you point to the Lexus of your dreams, you tell the friendly sales associate that you've come for the unmistakable values during the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event. And that's when it hits you. The event is over. In fact, it just ended yesterday. Thankfully, this was only an exercise. You still have time to take advantage of the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event with some of the most attractive offers of the year on the most popular Lexus models. Just keep in mind, the event ends September 6th. Not a day sooner, and not a day later. Don't miss it at your Lexus dealer.
This is America's running back, Maurice Jones-Drew.
Touchdown! Maurice Jones-Drew!
And you're listening to Sirius XM NFL Radio, Channel 88.
Sirius XM NFL Radio, Channel 88. Every camp, every team. This is Sirius XM NFL Radio's Training Camp Tour 2011. It's the Sirius XM Blitz. Here are your hosts, Adam Shine and Randy Cross.
We'll get to your New England Patriot telephone calls in a smidge at 877 NFL Kick. Randy, our first guest live at New England Patriots training camp, the great Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. Law firm, Adam Shine, Randy Cross, how are you?
Oh, I'm not doing okay. Nice to be here.
Hey, Ben Jarvis, you've had a great couple of years, sort of an underdog on this roster, done a wonderful job of running the ball. Where exactly do you see yourself fitting into this 2011 edition? Because it seems to be every year your role kind of morphs and changes. Your first year, you're going to cover kickoffs, you're going to do this, and you're going to do different things.
Well, right now we're just going to practice and just trying to get better at the things we need to get better at. We've been out of football for a while, and we just had to string a couple of good practices together and go from there.
In terms of your improvement, to piggyback off of Randy's question, how do you want to get better? You had such a great year last year, kind of a breakthrough season, but I'm sure there are areas you want to get better, Coach wants you to get better. How do you want to improve off of last season?
Well, we just always want to come in. Every year is different, so you always want to start from scratch, and you want to improve in every area of the game, whether it be running the football, picking up blitzes, catching it out of the backfield. Whatever they ask you to do, you need to make sure you're on your P's and Q's.
Coming into an NFL-style system can be rough enough. Coming into this particular offense with a guy like Tom at quarterback, I'm sure it doesn't take long to figure out once you're signed here that you better be sharpening up on that blitz pickup and recognizing what's happening, especially on that back side. How was that adjustment specifically for you, to getting used to the pickup on the blitz with the safeties and the linebackers?
It's an adjustment, but it's always going to be adjustment in anything that you do in life when you transition into the next level of something. So you just have to learn fast and learn on the go and just be willing to do it.
Do you feel like you're the guy running the football for the New England Patriots? Danny obviously had a big season. They draft a couple running backs. Do you feel like you're the number one running back?
Like I said, I just go to practice every day and just do whatever they ask me to do.
How many touches do you need in a game to really get in a nice flow?
We don't really go on like touches or anything like that. We kind of work as an offensive unit, and whatever is working and whatever we feel is good for that game. That's obviously what we would do.
Yeah, the mantra here, you see it over doorways, you see it in various locations, and you hear it on a regular basis. To do your job. Is it hard at times to explain to people outside of this building what that idea of being a role player is? That it's not really an insult. That with this team, everybody's a role player.
I don't really think it is an insult, and I don't really try to explain it to people. I think when we go out there, our action speaks for ourselves, and, we just have to go out there. Everyone is doing their job. It's 11 people out there. You're not by yourself.
You take a look at the Patriots, I think that, you can make the case maybe versus some other teams in the AFC, some potential Super Bowl teams. New England needs a guy, and you'd be the first guy on the list, to control the clock, as Randy and I were talking about before, in that fourth quarter, the bad weather, the rain, the sleet, the snow in December, in January here at Foxborough. Is that something that you'd want and you'd embrace, being that guy to control the clock in the fourth quarter?
Like I said, I'm willing to do whatever they ask me to do, whether it be controlling the clock, running routes, picking up blitzes, whatever it is they ask to do, just going to go out there and do it.
What's been your favorite part of your experience so far with the New England Patriots, just being part of this team and part of this organization?
My favorite part has really been enjoying the process, our week preparation that nobody sees, they only see it on Sundays. I enjoy coming in on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, our preparation, how hard we work. And you get to go out there in 3 hours and see what kind of work you've done all week. So that's been my favorite part of it. And most importantly is winning.
And as much of that coming from the sort of handed down from the guys that have been here for a while, you're going to get the how to act and how to prepare from Kevin Falk. You're going to get the help from the Bradys, get help from the guys that have been there. Here's what you should do, and it's up to you to sort of follow through and fall in line.
I don't think it's just handed down on what you should do. I think everybody just kind of lead by example, and everyone, once you've been here for a while, you kind of find your own way. You find your own way of doing things, and obviously you're not going to do the same things that Brady do or some of the same things that Kevin do. You're going to always be individual, but in your own way. Everyone has their own way of doing things.
What's Chad Ochocinco like as a teammate?
He's cool. He's cool teammate. He's a good teammate. Like I said right now, we all just working hard because, this year hasn't been defined for us yet. And we still had to go out there and practice. And like I said, string together some good practices and make sure we're on top of the little things. And that's what the coach is doing. He's staying on top of it.
What was your reaction when you found out that Chad was going to join your team? Were you surprised? Did you know that Coach and Chad had this great relationship? I mean, it's funny. You think of Chad. Randy and I were talking about it before. I mean, he loves football, loves to work. He also likes to ride a bull and likes reality shows, which is not going to fly in New England. What was your reaction when you found out that Chad was going to be your teammate?
It's a funny thing because actually me and Chad had talked a little bit this summer, and this is one of the things we talked about. He said this is one of the places that he wanted to go. And then it kind of just happened, and I was like, when I first saw him, I was like, I guess you was telling the truth.
How could he help out your offense?
Like I said, Chad is going to come in and do whatever coach asks him to do. I don't know what they want him to do, whether it be running routes or blocking or whatever they ask him to do. I'm more than sure he's going to be willing to do it, and that's going to be that.
Hey, how would you describe Patriots' offensive huddle? Is it quiet? Is it active? Per se, are there people that talk a little bit more than others? How do you describe that to outsiders?
Well, in the huddle, always anything you have is a meeting, so it has to be organization. And only person that really talks in the huddle is Tom, unless it's a specific play and there's interaction between a couple guys. But other than that, we're just trying to hit a play. And Tom is the one who's calling the play, so we kind of listen to him, let him call the play, and then if we have something to say after that, or a few pointers or something like that, we do it and go ahead on and call the play.
You have a remarkable regular season last year, 14-2. You lose to the rival Jets in the postseason. How much did that loss stay with you during the offseason? How much does that motivate you for this season?
And when there's games, you're always going to win and lose. Of course, you don't want to lose to your arch rival, the Jets or whatever, but early on in the offseason, it really helps you, but then you have to get to a point where you have to put those games behind you and start focusing up on a new season, and that's what we're trying to do right now, getting ready for the 2011 season.
What's your goal for today? Practice starts about 1:30. What's your personal goal for what you're going to get done?
I just want to go out there today and get better as a team and get better as an individual than I was yesterday. Continue to string together good practices and make sure, we're on top of the things that we need to be on top of.
Adam asked you about last year's record and the loss in the playoffs and whatnot. Is that the hardest thing for an athlete to learn, is that sort of living in the now? You can't control anything that happened in the past. You can't control anything about what's happening in the future. The only thing you have any control over is what you're going to do today, right now.
It wasn't that hard. It's kind of difficult, but you just have to make sure you're mentally prepared. When you get ready to play football, obviously, as you know, Randy, that you have to you have to do those things. It's something that you have to do. You don't have an option because you can't go back and do something over once the play is gone. You have to put those things behind you and move on to the next play.